Hey, I'm Kristen, and this week's Genius Recipe is my favorite and a community favorite way to bring so much life and freshness to any leftover mashed potatoes you have. So, I was on a quest. Man, you can really hear the rain through that.
You hear it a little bit here, but
right above me. It's all right. It's not the worst sound. I was on a quest back in 2013. I really wanted to find a recipe that would use leftover mashed potatoes and really turn them into something new without a lot of work, and would work with any family's mashed potatoes, no matter how you'd seasoned them. And that was shockingly hard to find. So many recipes out there call for freshly mashed potatoes or mashed potatoes that have no seasoning in them at all, and that is just not realistic. That is not what we have left over after a big Thanksgiving feast or other holiday meal. So that is where this book from Burt Green, his classic Green on Greens, saved the day. It's the one recipe that I found that really works well no matter if you've put roasted garlic in your mashed potatoes or bacon or cream cheese or really whatever. What do you put in your mashed potatoes?
butter.
Exactly. These scallions are going to get blanched, and they are going to soften and sweeten and really turn into so much more than just a garnish or even an onion. This is all the prep we have to do right now. Okay, so what these are going to turn into is these delicious, crispy potato pancakes, potato scallion pancakes called Fritterra that Burt Green, as he wrote in this book, learned about from a cab driver in Israel. And every time they were at a stoplight, he would tell them a little bit more of this recipe. I trimmed off the green tops, and then I'm just going to trim as little as possible of these roots because we want to keep all the flavor we can. Now we're gonna go blanch those back there and then come back and finally chop them and mix up our potato pancakes. Quickly blanch these scallions. They're gonna go in there for about 5 minutes. Well, we had a bit of a timer malfunction, I think, so it's possible that these are a little softer than they should be. But that doesn't matter. They will be delicious in this recipe. We want them soft. We're gonna let those cool for just a moment and make some fresh breadcrumbs, which is as simple as making some toast and breaking it up in a food processor. The intrepid commenters on Food52 came up with the idea of using the genius idea of using leftover stuffing in place of the breadcrumbs, and several people did and reported back that it was delicious. Woo! Toasty. So we have our breadcrumbs, we have our leftover mashed potatoes, we've got some eggs we need to beat over here. All right, and now these are cool enough to handle. And I do think that I may have gone beyond blanching into full-on boiling because my trusty, not so trusty home assistant said that a timer was set and then just bailed. You don't want big chunks because that is gonna get in the way of the potato pancakes holding together. You do want them quite finely chopped to become kind of part of the binder of the mashed potato pancakes. Right, now it's just a bunch of mixing. So, to our blanched and chopped scallions.
And boiled.
And blanched and boiled and minced scallions, we will add those beaten eggs, our breadcrumbs, about a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, as much pepper as you want, and those mashed potatoes. Boom. Whoa. Sorry, get back in there. All right, that is very well combined. We're ready to fry. So Burt Green used a mix of vegetable oil and olive oil. Vegetable oil being great for high heat. Oop. Putting in 2 tablespoons. And then olive oil being great for flavor. So since this batter is on the looser side, I'm just gonna make these cakes as I go, and I'm gonna make sure that my pan is pretty hot so that when they hit the pan, they're going to make a nice sear and they're not gonna fall apart. Bert had written to make these about 2 tablespoons in size, so if you wanna be exact, you can measure that out, but you can also just eyeball it. And I do wanna test and see if my oil is hot enough, so I'm gonna put a little sacrificial potato clump in. All right, let's give it a try. Well, look how cute that is.
Cutie. It's so nice and soft and wet.
And yet, it's not, look at that, it's not really sticking to my hands. It's pretty well behaved. Boop. All right, I'm gonna try one more little blip. Oh yeah, it's good stuff. You may notice that I am being very careful with this hot oil and wet batter to drop these in very gently and away from me so that any oil splashes are going away from my body. Oh, you're gonna become one with this patty. Here, I'll scoop that out. My testers are looking yummy. This is one of those moments where if it's sticking, leave it alone. It'll finish forming a crust and it will release itself. Ooh. Ooh.
I like to microwave my life.
But look what you get. It's good. I was keeping these warm in a low, like 250 oven on this nice sheet pan plus rack so that they'll stay crispy. Since I was making a lot. How many do you want? 2, 3?
3.
3, okay. 3 for Mike. 3 for me.
And 2 eggs, please.
So this is the perfect day after Thanksgiving morning breakfast to me. And in our house, it would be served with another more recent community favorite recipe, Mike's famous fried eggs.
Made it to the top.
Oh, wow. That is pure comfort. It's like crispy on the outside, nice and salty, and then you get to the inside and it's just this like cozy, really well seasoned, really flavorful mash. I love this recipe exactly as it is, but commenters on Food52 have also riffed on it in all kinds of ways. People have put in sauteed mushrooms and caramelized onions, spinach, cheese. Let us know what you would do with this recipe in the comments, and also be sure to check out the Genius Recipe Tapes podcast episode this week for lots of other Thanksgiving leftovers ideas. We have you covered on all the things you're going to need this week. Thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving. We will see you in 2 weeks.